everybody. Welcome to Fandom Entanglement, and we are doing a end of season 1 review of Sliders tonight. I'm Mike Bloxam. I'm here with my co-host Damon Sugameli.
Hey everybody.
We're both tired dads this evening, but
yeah, we're both very tired. We both had a day too.
So we're gonna do our best.
Yeah, we're gonna wing it a little bit just because we wanted to get something out there before we started season 2. Will probably be a quick little thing, but yeah. How you doing, Mike?
It's mid-December. 2 weeks till Christmas. Totally not ready for it. So
yeah,
the stress is getting there. But
yeah, I think we were talking a little bit beforehand. I also think part of it for me is a little bit. Sometimes I get like the blues a bit, the stress and everything it gets to you with the holidays, and that's part of why we wanted to take a break anyway. I've got some things going on. I got like a as of the night that we're doing this, I got like a Secret Santa work party thing tomorrow night. So it's like, just all of that stuff. But like I said, we'll try to wing it a little bit. I guess we're just gonna kind of go over some of the highs and lows. I think there were more highs in season 1 than there were, and maybe just kind of talk about what's coming up next. I don't know. So where do you want to start, Mike?
Well, I guess for me it was a real pleasure watching season 1 again. It kind of felt like with fresh eyes in a way, because I don't think I saw the entirety of season 1 in the original run or in repeats or syndication later. So it was really nice to be able to watch everything, especially watching it in the intended order as opposed to however it was originally aired, and seeing where they were trying to pull these story threads along. Even though it was supposed to be a serialized show, it was nice to see there was some continuity from episode to episode, particularly with Quinn and Wade's intended romance.
Yeah.
And
you pointed out some of those things to me that where it was like where we saw it, like it like when you see them out of sequence, it's like you don't quite get that nuance, I guess, of intimacy between them.
Because they were, well, as we saw in the pilot, Quinn was very much, we're best buds.
Have your head examined.
Dummy.
Yeah, you're an idiot. To quote Wade, you're an idiot.
Yeah. So I guess I thought we'd just kind of summarize what we thought of season 1, and then talk about kind of a sneak peek of what's to come in 2025.
Yeah. Like I said, we're just. I had a train of thought when we were talking, and then I forgot. So we really are winging it here. I mean, I don't know. We just we can't really do like the ratings of the episodes, because we kind of did that already. But I think I'll reiterate that I think that we thought it was a really good pilot, like just setting up the characters and everything. I feel like maybe in the more immediate future we'll start seeing a little bit of a shift with Rembrandt, because he's been that more of that comic relief and like the everyday perspective, and I know over the course of the series it's going to get like a little more serious with him. So it's nice to see him in this role still.
I have to say I really do enjoy the Rembrandt character in this season. He's a bit of a himbo, I guess.
Himbo?
Like a male bimbo, right? Like he's
okay. I've never heard that term before. But it makes sense. But that makes sense. Is that a Canadian thing, himbo?
I don't think so, but Maybe Urban Dictionary has the origin, but
Okay.
No, he's the comic relief. Like he gets mad at Quinn, at the start of, I think,
Almost every
75% of the
yeah,
episodes
yeah.
about losing his car, but he's just
A red
no,
sled, but right, something like that. It was like, this was
yeah.
my red sled left on this iceberg world, or whatever.
No, just knowing that he's the one who makes it throughout the whole series. The like you said, the character progression for him is interesting, but I cherish this version of he's still,
Yeah.
I want to say, a little bit innocent about what he's gotten into. He seems
Mhm.
to
Yeah,
always think
yeah.
when he's on this new world that this is the one where he could be famous again, which happened once.
Yes, yes, it did.
Um, and I guess, yeah, we talked about a little bit about the Quinn and Wade relationship there, but also the professor is just John Rhys Davies nails it. He's
Oh, I know. Yeah, yeah. I'll even say it too, because I'll show. This is what I've been watching. So this is, in case anybody wants to know, this is the dual dimension edition, seasons 1 and 2 complete. This is the original set from Universal, which has them in air date order. So I have to kind of jump around with the
right.
discs. And, it was like a little slip on the back too. It has tells you all the stuff on the inside. If anybody's interested, anyway. But and there's I brought it up now because when you were talking about John Rhys Davies, and there's like one of the bonus features on here is like an interview with like Jerry O'Connell and Clement Derricks, and I think Clement even says when we lost John, he almost knew that was like the beginning of the end of the show, even though it was like not even, it was almost the halfway point of the show. Spoiler alert for anybody that I'm sure you've all, if you're a fan of the show, you know what was going on there.
Yeah,
we'll get there. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interesting things in that, and admittedly, I have not watched that in years, but that was like a pretty good like featurette, and yeah, but I wanted to show that too, because that's what I've been using to watch it. You're I don't know what you Mike, you were like kind of streaming it, or I don't know. Yeah, something like that. So, yeah, and then like the Mill Creek Entertainment, what they did like the complete series. Stupid me, okay. When the library got it, I should have saved the case to show people, because they threw it out.
Oh no!
They had the case, and I did not think about it. Like, hey, you guys aren't using it. I should just use it to show everybody. But
yeah,
whatever. People can look at the image on Google. They can find it.
True. True enough.
Anyway, it's a little tangent, but I figured I'd bring that up. It'll be interesting to see how everybody also develops in season 2, and with the whole, like, even by then they kind of know that it doesn't make much sense to try to show them in any kind of order. So season 2 is a little all over the place. That's kind of like what our little a little sneak peek into that. We're still going to do it in like the production order,
right?
I think, because I think it makes sense. But actually, I don't know. I jumped ahead a little bit.
That's okay.
We should keep going with season 1 a little bit. I'll get back into it. Where were we? We were talking about.
Well, we were talking about the solid pilot, and then just the character development. But also, you mentioned earlier there were more highs than lows in this season, which I fully agree with. There were a lot of solid episodes, which is not always the case for kind of a pilot season, if you will, of 8 or 9 or 10 episodes. It was there were very few that were. Well, just look at our ratings. Go back and look at our ratings.
Yeah,
there were none really below a 6. So
yeah, I mean, I would say none of them were bad episodes. Just, some of them were not my favorites, but they were still like season 3 is. We're gonna get there. There's gonna be something that's really hard to watch. Season 1 is always easy for me to watch. It's like one of the best first seasons, I think, of any show, because it's like
Yeah.
pretty consistent.
Yeah.
I think so. Some of the ideas maybe didn't work as well. Like some of them are very 90s
Yes.
sensibilities, I guess.
Yeah.
But I do think for the most part it worked real well. And I feel like season 2 is most of the same. Sometimes there might be some that are a little. I mean, most of them are also pretty watchable, I think. So
Right.
I can't think of a single one. It's really. Once Tracy Torme started leaving the show, that's when the quality dips.
Right.
So I don't know what other like memorable things.
Other memorable things. I guess the things I like seeing were those character development nuggets, I guess we can call them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously you like to have a full story within an episode, but learning that Arturo had married at a young age and lost his wife at the age of 27 or so, and that he didn't seem to be back into a romantic relationship after that, so that really scarred him. And then when he had the chance to fix things with his alter ego on what do we call it, on the mind game world.
Eggheads,
Eggheads, yes.
Yeah, Brainiac World, whatever
the world's called. In Eggheads. And it wasn't until oh shoot, I'm losing the names of the episodes. It wasn't until Luck of the Draw when we get to really learn some things about Wade too. So they spread kind of the background stuff out throughout the season, which is nice. You get that slow build and not just a whole bunch of kind of factoids thrown at you in one episode.
Yeah. So I
think that's why it was such a successful launch season, because they gave you characters that you started to care about because you started to know about their backgrounds and understand their motivations a bit.
Yeah. So we brought up Wade there. Was it Dennis maybe that even brought it up in that finale, that you almost feel like up to that point, like maybe that was one of the few things, is like she almost got a little left behind. Like you said, it wasn't until Luck of the Draw where we kind of finding out a little more about her. Mm-hmm. So if there's any, just looking back on it, maybe if there's anything a little negative to say, is like maybe they could have fleshed her character out a bit more. I know that she will have a few. I know there's definitely a few more episodes in season 2 where she's kind of front and center.
Right.
So I mean, we're definitely going to see more of that.
And she was probably the one with the fewest doubles as well.
I think so. Yeah.
I can only really remember the one on the Soviet world.
Yeah,
And were there any others?
We talked about this. I think that was the only one.
That was the only one. Yeah,
I think so. And that was brief. Yeah.
That would be you're right. That would be the one downfall of the first season, is leaving the only female character.
Yeah.
with some of the same treatment that the other three received.
Right. Yeah. The season, I think, it had a pretty solid ending. I think we did touch upon that, how they wanted that cliffhanger there. I think because at the time the show was just kind of like on the fence. It was one of those, they call them the mid-season replacements, which they don't do that anymore, I don't think, on TV. Not really. Because that was like when they had like the September show started in September, ended in May. So this was like, I think they weren't sure if they were going to have a second season, but then they kind of knew. And we'll touch upon it again when we start season 2, how they just kind of wrap it up in like 2.5 minutes because they didn't even want to. So we will see what happens there.
I thought it was a great cliffhanger because it left you wondering, are they replacing Quinn as the main character?
Yeah. I mean, I remember watching that. I mean, and the show had just begun, and I'm like, man, they can't be doing this already. Like, like not knowing if the show is coming back, and it was almost a year before the show came back, because it wasn't renewed right away.
Right.
So
I think that was obviously intentional to leave it open to well, this would be a good way to wrap up the series, but it's
Yeah, I think
also
so.
a good lead into the next season. So yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I guess on that note, I will also just we're doing this one bonus episode, but I think in the future we might maybe we'll try to get into this a little bit. There were comics of the show, which I'm trying to remember. I know that they definitely started publishing these before. I think it was before season 2 began,
Okay.
or it was during the beginning of season 2. Because we'll touch upon it when we get to Invasion. There are story elements of this very first issue that were like the precursor to some stuff that we'll see, some concepts from Tracy Torme,
Okay.
that apparently were. I remember reading about it that there were concepts they didn't think they could pull off on TV.
Sure.
So they left
Yeah.
it for these, and these aren't written by Tracy Torme, but they're like they say like story concepts, and so like you never read them, Mike.
No, I didn't know they existed until you told me about them.
Yeah,
So.
they exist. Yeah, just like the I showed this once before. The book. This was unfortunately the only book was the novelization,
Right.
The pilot, which I showed earlier. But yeah, I think at some point we'll touch upon that a little bit, because they're definitely hinting. There's some things that hint in there about like almost I wouldn't say an animosity, but like you can tell that there's friction with the team in some of these issues. They touch upon it a little bit, and that's sort of a story thread that we start seeing in season 2 that leads into some stuff. So
Okay.
that's all I'll go with from there for now. But I want to touch on that just a little bit before we kind of started wrapping up.
Yeah, and I think you said those comics are available online in PDF format at earthprime.com.
I believe that they are all there, yes. So
Yeah.
everybody can check that out, earthprime.com, which is where I get a lot of the information from, a little behind the scenes info, the little brief synopses.
Yeah. So if you're looking for some holiday reading, check out the Sliders comics from 1996.
Yeah, I think it started in 1996. Yeah, I mean, it says June, but it wasn't June. It would have been at least 2 months before that publication date. In this case, it might have been something in here said something about that they started in February. I don't know if they did. I used to have back in the day, because this was like almost 30 years ago when I was collecting comics, and I had stacks of books, and I had them separated by months, and like so I used to know exactly when this stuff was published, and I don't quite remember anymore.
Right, fair enough.
So I don't know. We'll decide at some point. Maybe like I said, it'll be a bonus episode. I don't know how many of them we want to talk about. They're not long reads, but it's like 2 issues, and then like another 2-issue story, and then it's like 3 issues. So they're all kind of like connected, and then they have some specials. One of them was written by Jerry O'Connell.
Really?
So yeah. Oh yeah. Is what is it here? It's supposed to be something about a I think like a drug type world. It says Narcotica.
Whoa.
Yeah, written by Jerry O'Connell, and
cool.
It's like supposed to be like a lost episode that they would have shown on TV. So there's a lot of stuff that's connected, and I thought it would be interesting to kind of talk about them at some point, but you have to read them first. So
yeah.
It's the same company that was going to do, because there were Quantum Leap comics.
Yes.
And then that was a whole other comic book company, and it's the same comic company. It's called Acclaim Comics, and it was like their Armada imprint or something, and they were like an independent publisher.
Okay.
But they were going to do a new Quantum Leap series too, which never got published.
All right.
In fact, the stuff that's on Al's place that you probably have seen that was submitted for like the stuff, that's the stuff that I submitted to Brian.
Oh, okay, cool.
I used to have those publications that gave you the little blurbs of what was to come.
So,
yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And they were going to even do, I think, crossovers with Quantum Leap, and it was like, I would have loved that. But
I know, right? Yeah.
I had ideas that I wanted to do. Okay. Anyway, I'm talking about that a little longer than I expected to. Anyway,
Yeah.
so what do we got coming up for season 2? We got first episode is going to be Into the Mystic, and I
Yeah.
guess this would be a good time to mention we're going to tweak the format a little bit for season 2 because other than the pilot, we had at least one guest for every episode, and we're probably it should be pretty much the same. I think we're going to have at least one guest for
Yeah.
each episode, but we're going to change it up a little bit to have people who were in season 1 to join us. They will come back. Nothing. Most of it's finalized. I put out this list on like Reddit, on the Discord, and our Facebook group, and I did all that. So I got some responses. Some people I'm still trying to finalize some things. So that's kind of like on me. I'm trying to set that all up. So for a good majority of the episodes, I think we will have at least one returning guest and one new person that they will be paired up with. So in some cases, we might have a returning guest that will maybe do more than one. So I'm not going to reveal all of that yet, but most of it's pretty finalized, but I want to try to finalize that within the next few weeks. If anybody is still interested, you can still contact us at fandom.entanglement@gmail.com. And
All right.
We'll give all that information at the end anyway. But that's what we're going to try to do. We are going to try to do this. That's going to be on me on a weekly basis, I think. I don't know if I'm giving myself more work than I really should be doing, but I'm going to try to do that. We might, I might minimize the editing to make it a little bit easier. And part of what I want to do is, if anybody has suggestions, I think what I'm going to try to do is a Patreon page. So maybe we'll offer something there. Maybe like early access to unedited videos. I don't know if people want to check it out earlier. I'm not sure what I want to do with that yet, but I'm going to try to set that up. If anybody has any ideas, any suggestions as to what you'd like for us to do, or any bonus episodes you'd like us to discuss, I'd say throw us a line on, definitely in the Facebook group, but we're working on all that other stuff. I'm going to try to get like the other social media stuff like Twitter, or maybe not, maybe not that, like the X, whatever, but like Instagram maybe, and I'm blanking on some stuff, but like just some of the stuff that's out there. We're going to try to get more of a presence out there.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's kind of what we got going on. Anything else you think that we want to discuss, or?
I think we got it all.
yeah. I mean, we're doing a pretty short episode, but we just kind of wanted to just get something out there, let everybody know, hey, we're still here.
Yeah.
And I am pretty excited to talk about season 2. With
our guest lineup, it's going to be pretty fun.
With
some pretty interesting people joining us, so it'll be a good time.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, it's the order is kind of all over the place. You look at the production and air date order. So that's what I said before. So we're still going to do it in like production order, and I say production order because Into the Mystic is actually the 3rd episode they produced, but it really is the season premiere. So we're doing that first.
Right. Yeah.
So because it was one of those because again, this is the whole cliffhanger thing was like, we're lucky we got it resolved. And when he found out Into the Mystic was going to be the premiere, he rewrote the opening of it to resolve the cliffhanger.
Okay.
So otherwise, it's going to air like 3rd or something. It was going to be like 3rd one.
And there would have been no resolution to the end of season 1.
I think it was like literally, I think it might have been a throwaway line in an episode or something like, oh, the last time we got involved in a world, you got shot, Quinn, or something like that. And that was going to be like the sole, anything we knew about, like, oh yeah, remember you got shot?
Yeah.
And that happened. But Tracy Torme was like, he says this on the DVD too. He said, this was a never ending battle. It's like, you need to resolve this cliffhanger. People are going to care. Damn it.
Yes.
Like, come on. I know it's a year, but like people are going to care. They don't just forget about these things.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're leaving him lying in a pool of blood. So,
Yeah, right.
I mean, really, come on. Yeah, so Into the Mystic is the premiere. I'm going to treat Invasion as the season finale, even though it's like number 9 out of 13.
Okay.
So I think it was meant to be a season finale, even though it still was not the last episode, because there was an episode that they pushed back beyond that because it was so confusing to people.
Oh, okay. All right.
They thought people wouldn't get it. We'll get to all of that. I'm just,
Well,
like I said.
this is Fox underestimating the audience again, isn't it? It's...
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, I think that's it for me. Anything
Yeah.
else?
Yeah. Sounds good.
All right. Yeah. We'll round up comments more in the future. I forgot to. We did get some additional comments, but I forgot to line them up for this because we're two tired dads, and I just want to go to bed.
Yeah.
So we'll get to it, guys. We promise. If you want to give everybody the information, Mike.
Well, so far we are at www.fandomentanglement.com. That's where you can find links to our YouTube page, our email contact is there, and a link to the Facebook group. As Damon mentioned, we're looking to get out onto some other platforms as well. So as those come along, we'll add them to the website. All of our season 1 videos are posted there as well, and we're working on getting our previous reviews of Quantum Leap 2022 posted also. So we'll have our whole catalog up there, hopefully sometime by the end of January, I would expect.
Sometime soon. And as I said, I'm going to work on getting our Patreon page up. And stuff that maybe we can do for maybe some exclusive stuff, or just something like I said, but maybe it might be something as simple as just early access for just once we record, I'll just put that unedited video if people are interested, if they don't want to wait until we put it up on YouTube, because it takes me several days to edit. But I'm going to work on all of that to try to tighten things up a bit.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's about it, I think. So hope you enjoyed our discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So please be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Leave your comments. We will read them in future videos. So we'll see you guys in a few weeks for season 2.
Yeah.
I'm Damon.
All right. And I'm Mike.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Right. Bye-bye. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.